Thank you so much. And this is something I'm very passionate about. We've been on this since 2012 or 2011. And you get to a point where you not only talk about the GMOs, you're also looking at alternatives. And it's because of that that I became a farmer. You know, I grow beans, I grow maize, and other vegetables. Now, what exactly are the problems? Seeds are the foundation of human and animal life on earth. Whoever that controls your seed controls your life, as you heard on that. Now, the second thing I want to establish is that you are what you eat. The third one is let your food be your medicine. That's what the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said to us. Then we need also look at the food labeling. These are the issues on this GMO debate. Yeah. We look at the food labeling. We look at another one that nobody seems to talk about, the glyphosate. Now, what are GMOs? We've talked so much about what are GMOs. And you heard the guy talk about transgenic modification. The danger that we have is not, you know, a lot of times when you talk about this, they tell you, oh, you're anti-science, you're not supporting biotechnology. We love biotechnology. We want to grow with technology as technology is growing. But the problem we have is what we're doing in Nigeria and in some other places. But I want to focus on Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I love my country. Yeah. And another thing I also want to, correct. When we talk about GMOs, people want to politicize it. This has nothing to do with President Tinubu. This has nothing to do with APC. It's important that we don't lose focus. Food concerns everybody. All of us, we eat food. Now, GMOs in Nigeria, we're talking about transgenic. When you cross organisms that are taxonomically different, you have a problem. What am I saying? When you take, let's keep it at layman's, forget all the scientific stuff. When you take genes from an animal and put inside a plant, you're already breaking the boundaries of nature. Ethically, that is wrong. In a normal situation, a fish cannot mate tomato. But we are breaking these boundaries in the name of science. And what people are not talking about is, okay, what will be the outcome in future? Because when you talk, they tell you, oh, I run a hospital. And I know the kind of diseases we see on a daily basis. Now, you're not going to literally link, oh, this person, like this 18-year-old boy that is hypertensive. You're not going to say, oh, it's because he ate GMO. Nobody's going to buy that. I mean, like in terms of research and all that, okay? But we need to look at glyphosate. If I take your blood samples now to the lab, I can promise you, that I can get the glyphosate residues in your blood samples. And I encourage Nigerians. That's why, like, when people come to the clinic, okay, hold on. Hold on. I encourage, like, when people come to the clinic, we do your nutritional profile. These are not conventional questions people ask you when you go to the hospital. Like, I want to know what you have eaten in the past 2 weeks. There's a reason for that. When I know what you have eaten in the past 2 weeks, if you have fed mostly on junk food, what do I mean by junk food? Fast food and all that, made from all this imported corn, soy food and all that, I can assure you 89% that you have glyphosate residue in your system. Now, the question is this. What is glyphosate? Glyphosate is the pesticide, herbicide, whichever one you want to use, that is used for growing GMO crops. Okay? Now,
so is it specifically for GMO? Is it just a broad spectrum
now,
herbicide?
What is going on is that farmers are now using it to kill weeds.
So it's not just farms. For GMO?
You must use it if you're planting GMO crops.
But they also use it for non-GMO crops.
Nigerians, they're using it for their farms now, okay? But the organic farmers, I don't use Roundup.
So it should not be used?
It should not be used. Why? And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, before I get to that, GMOs, I tell people, are pesticides. Why do I say that? There's a definition. What are pesticides? Pesticides are an enormous group of chemicals designed to kill unwanted insects, insecticides, weeds, herbicides, rodents, and fungi. Many pesticides endanger human health or damage ecosystem, creating risk for companies to buy or produce food and other crops. Now, GMOs, for instance, the beans we just released, they are modified to produce their own pesticides, so that the pests that attack plants will not eat that. Now, that might sound good in terms of, growing the beans and all that, because of the implication to human health. Any plant that can produce its own insecticide or pesticide is automatically a pesticide. So, these plants, in a normal situation, cannot pass through NAFDAC regulation definition of food. And that is why it is not NAFDAC that is regulating GMO foods. It's another agency. Because if NAFDAC...
The National Biosafety
Management Agency. Now, the danger in that is this. NAFDAC, they have their clear definition of food. So, you cannot come now and start telling us that the GMO beans is food, when there's a clear definition of what a pesticide...
People just are blind. They don't... Let's get out of this political rhetorics. Let's see the fact. We're seeing it. The country is much better it's more safer. There's increased prosperity in the country. I'm telling you, our macroeconomic indicators are much better. I didn't make it. The president did not make it. Look at our GDP growth. Look at the report that came out from the National Bureau of Statistics. That those reports are subjected to international standards. Goldman Sachs, everybody. Those are the reports they look and come to every time. More increased, significant improvement in agriculture. We now have more agriculture contributing more to the GDP than oil sector. Look at the infrastructure development. Look at all the safety net program, the money the president is dedicated, the significant budgetary allocation to health, education, social protection, infrastructure, security. So let's face it.
I know you're an empirical analyzer and you're a scholar. You're coming from that sector, and it's easy for you to look at things in a more didactic and in a more empirical, fact-based scenario. But, Minister, it is not a fact that this government, when it got into office, plunged Nigeria into those indices that are negative. And yes, the figures are getting better in the last 1 year.
Okay.
But what about the fact that have we forgotten that this government plunged Nigeria into all of the reds that we are seeing economic-wise?
Shame, with all due respect to you, what you just said, absolutely false.
Okay.
The country was on the verge of bankruptcy. This president literally saved this country from bankruptcy. Look at it. I'll give you in a more microcosmic picture. We're spending money that we did not have, subsidizing fuel subsidy to the tune of almost $1.2 billion a month. Foreign exchange subsidy of almost $500 million a month. We're borrowing this money. A significant amount of it had been leveraged by frontal selling those or getting those money resources in. Now, look at yourself, look at your household today. If you were using your credit card to pay your electricity bill, to buy your foodstuff, to pay your rent, and the money you were getting in every month is not enough to even service the interest on those credit cards, what will happen to you? Month over month, you get deeper and deeper and deeper. And this president decided that he would take those difficult decisions so that it's like taking short-term pain for long-term benefit. And that's what we're saying. Now investors are coming in. There was significant capital flight from the country. No one was investing. Now it's changed. People are coming, and as you see president travel all across the country that is going to, this is a different way of government conducting businesses. President will go, make sure these are deliverable. He uses its big political will to get those investors to come in. And that's what we're saying. Things have changed dramatically in this country. But people, the naysayers will never see it. But guess what? The country is getting better day by day.
We used to do before, where we just do some patchworking of sections and all of that. The total rehabilitation would mean, just for transparency, to let the public know, that we are going to strip it down to only the carcass. And then do the complete M&E again, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, everything, to have a brand new airport. The completion period is 22 months, and the total cost will come up to 712 billion, 258,565,482 naira, 18 kobo.
Terminal 2 will be expanded and runways in Lagos, Kano and Port Harcourt upgraded with Category 2 landing lights to cut delays during Harmattan haze. The Lagos airport will also get a 14-kilometer security fence with CCTV and intruder alerts. Away from your view.
Somebody told me that one funny...
Whosoever that fly this, let there be testimony.
One funny guy somewhere in the south has sold everything in heaven, and he wonders what we will use when we finally get there. He has sold land.
Upon this land is going to fight for you.
He has sold sand.
Who is that person that don't want to build a house? Who is that person that want?
He has sold the key of David.
Keys of David.
He has sold nightgown.
Your husband has
heavenly nightgown. He has sold soap.
You use it soap. Oh, no matter you.
He has sold the book of life. He has sold fish hook.
There's something in my hand right now. I call it the hook.
Heavenly fish hook. He has sold the stone that killed Goliath.
These stones, you will go.
He has sold heaven's ATM card.
Spiritual ATM card.
That man, not just a seller.
Not just a marketer. He's a businessman wearing a suit on the pulpit because he's selling everything. One One time he prayed, then he went and copied scientific fiction from Hollywood.
I, Omotofufe, my humble servant.
He cut a part of the movie and put it inside his prayer, where lightning came from heaven. It's around Jesus. It doesn't matter what name is on the billboard.
On the 24th of June, I came here because the property belonging to a company owned by my brother was being destroyed and pulled down illegally. And I said, what is happening? Eventually work was stopped. The court ordered even that work should stop, and it was stopped. But I noticed that on weekends, they will come and continue the work. As you can see, the building, the land has been divided into two. A new fence has been built, and they are busy clearing the debris to make it an empty land. And this is what is happening. And since that 6 weeks, I've been flying, appealing for people to show me who said he is the owner of the property so I can discuss with him. I've never seen the person, nobody have appeared, but people are working here every day. So you can see they've marketed it into two. You can see them working here.
This stuff should be empowered. Serious. Lock that body down.
See them working here. That's why the fact that there's a court order saying nobody should work here. They continue to work here. The question is, what type of government do we have? What we are asking, what type of government do we have in this country where court will issue an order saying stop work, and people are busy still working?
This illegal construction.
You can see the tractors and everything. And these only happen during weekends.
They only do it on weekends. They don't do it on a weekday.
Hello, baby. Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How
I'll
you
give you
doing?
another one. You're my
Yes.
You're my we've been in this journey together, honestly. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm happy to also have this opportunity to also share, with the fans and the people. So, before we start, I'll also introduce myself to your followers as well. So, before you start everything, yes, my name is Priscilla Ojo. I'm an influencer, business mogul, entrepreneur, and a realtor, and also a graduate from Babcock University. So before we go on with the questions, I like to also talk about the importance of education. So I would say education empowers critical thinking, emotional intelligence, decision making, and it is very important for a lot of people. And it's good because it makes you stand out from the rest. So before we begin, can you also tell us about yourself?
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to tell you something that I shared with someone regarding you before we move forward. So we are talking about the Gen Z and how they can impact their younger ones. So I now said, okay, if you can go back to Priscilla, I think she'll be a good role model to the young ones coming up. Because when I was listening to what she said, remember that caption where he said, and I met my wife in the line of duty.
Yes.
So I made reference to that to her. So she went back and watched the video, and she came back and said, "Oh, I love that aspect of her." That kind of thing. So, and I really appreciate that. So my name is Tony Osondo, and I'm a Canadian immigration consultant in good standing. So what I mean in good standing is that I am regulated by the government of Canada to provide immigration advisory services to anyone who wants to come to Canada, either to visit, to work, to school, or to live permanently. So I attended after my master's degree in Nigeria. When upon arrival in Canada, I also went back to the University of Regina for a 4-year bachelor's degree in social work So I am a registered social worker of Saskatchewan as well. And I graduated with an Academic Silver Prize Award. Thereafter, I proceeded to Queen's University.
Hi beautiful people, I'm about to introduce to you the smartwatch Apex N10. What I love the most about the smartwatch Apex N10 is the screen, the metallic design, the silver color, and the leather strap. Guys, check me out. Also, I forgot to tell you, the ITEL Apex smartwatch comes with 2 straps. When you buy one watch, you get 2 straps, one leather and one silicone. Isn't that amazing? The AMOLED screen, even under the brightest sun, your watch face can be seen clearly. Guys, the battery lasts for 12 whole days on just 1 charge. You can see it's a 5 ATM water resistant. Today I'll be going for a walk, and thankfully my watch has a top GPS that tracks workout routes and workout history. At the end of the day, you can see your most active times and know where to do better. Bye!